panic assassination going.
The date?
Yeah.
Where did you get that?
Season 8 of MASH is where something quietly goes wrong and right at the same time. Actors taking control, episodes nearly getting pulled, and the war suddenly feels heavier than the jokes. You saw the season, but we bet you didn't know this. Today, we're breaking down 20 mind-blowing facts about MASH Season 8 that completely changes how you see it. Radar's exit was not originally planned for Season 8.
I'm not much on cheerful goodbyes. Hey, listen, this is for you. Take good care of it.
Radar's emotional farewell in Season 8 feels different from anything else in the season, but here comes the shocking part. His departure wasn't originally meant for Season 8 at all. Gary Burghoff had informed the producers he wanted to leave during Season 7, and the writers began crafting ideas for his exit. But scheduling conflicts and production delays pushed the story into the next season, long after much of the cast and tone had shifted. That's why Radar suddenly disappears mid-season, and why his goodbye has a distinctly different emotional weight than the episodes around it. The real reason Gary Burghoff left MASH.
Busboy, set up table 27 for the young man in the green tuxedo. We usually hold it for Cesar Romero, but he sprained his mustache.
Gary Burghoff's departure from MASH wasn't just a creative decision. It was the result of issues in his personal life. Years of grueling filming schedules and exhaustion from the non-stop demands of the show were taking their toll. By the late 1970s, Burghoff was struggling behind the scenes. His marriage had fallen apart, leaving him a single father trying to be present for his young daughter. At the same time, the pressure of playing Radar, the sweet, innocent heart of the 4077th, was getting too much. Burghoff later admitted he was suffering from exhaustion and burnout, feeling increasingly unable to balance the demands of fame with the needs of his real life. This eventually led him to step away, leaving a noticeable void in the camp. Why the camp suddenly looks newer. If you've ever watched Season 8 and thought the camp suddenly looked cleaner, brighter, or strangely new, there's a real-world reason for that. In October 1979, a massive brush fire tore through Malibu Creek State Park. The flames destroyed most of the camp, production shut down temporarily, and the crew was forced to rebuild the entire set from the ground up. When MASH resumed filming, the camp looked noticeably fresher and more polished on screen. David Ogden Stiers hired a real orchestra coach for morale victory.
Another tape-recorded letter from my sister Honoria. At last, the words of an intelligent person.
In the Season 8 episode Morale Victory, Charles Winchester is seen helping a soldier who is also a pianist. But what most viewers don't know is that David Ogden Stiers went to extraordinary lengths to make those scenes feel authentic. He personally hired a professional orchestra conductor to train him, to perfect how his hands, arms, and body would move. He studied baton grip, wrist angles, posture, and real conducting cues until his technique was believable to musicians. In interviews, David admitted he was terrified that real orchestra players watching at home would instantly recognize if he was faking it. For a character like Winchester, he believed the performance had to be respectful and precise, and it paid off. The episode CBS thought was too weird for MASH. The Season 8 episode Dreams nearly never aired. When CBS first saw the surreal nightmare sequences, they told Alan Alda the episode was too strange, and that viewers wouldn't understand it. Alda pushed back, arguing that the character's psychological stress deserved to be shown honestly, even if it meant breaking every sitcom rule at the time. CBS reluctantly agreed, and Dreams went on to become one of the most celebrated episodes in MASH history. Radar's farewell had to be reshot because it wasn't emotional enough. Parts of the Goodbye Radar episodes were filmed months after Gary Burghoff had left the show. The first version of his farewell was deemed too flat by producer Burt Metcalf, so the cast returned to reshoot key scenes, performing more intense and emotional versions of the embraces and glances at the airport. But there was one problem. They had to shoot it without Radar. Gary Burghoff had left months ago and was already tied to a stage production. To complete the episodes, editors cleverly combined new shots with previously filmed footage from earlier teams, making it appear seamless on screen. The cast regretted this episode. Season 8 included one of the most debated episodes in the entire series. Yes sir, that's our baby. The storyline follows the characters as they try to adopt a Korean infant. American adoptions of Korean babies was a sensitive topic during the war. Several cast members even called it a mistake in later interviews. Mike Farrell even thought the script was inappropriate given the subject matter. The topic was presented oversimplified, and those thoughts were shared among critics and fans alike. Therefore, the episode remains one of the most controversial episodes of the season. Hawkeye's only genuine salutes are to Radar. Hawkeye rarely salutes in Season 8, which makes each occasion stand out dramatically. Interestingly, both times he does give a genuine salute is to Radar. First when Radar receives his Purple Heart, and again during Radar's emotional departure. These salutes aren't mere formalities, they carry the weight of their friendship, mutual respect, and the unspoken understanding of the toll the war has taken on both of them. By reserving this gesture for Radar alone, the show highlights the special bond that formed between them, showing that even someone as irreverent as Hawkeye has moments of profound emotion. The season features some standout guest stars.
I didn't drink at all in World War I.
Was liquor invented then?
In the Second War, I never drank until I was through working.
Season 8 includes one of MASH's strongest lineups of guest stars, including Alan Alda's father, Robert Alda, and his half-brother, Anthony Alda. These appearances aren't just fun trivia, they're used to deepen the show's more serious, character-driven storytelling. Each guest challenges the main cast in meaningful ways, revealing new emotional layers. Their presence supports the season's slower pacing and focus on growth, making many of these episodes especially memorable. Season 8 was the last to have 25 episodes. Season 8 was the final season MASH had the luxury of time. With a full 25 episodes, the writers weren't forced to rush toward an ending. They could let stories unfold slowly, quietly, and sometimes uncomfortably. This extra space allowed the show to linger on exhaustion, boredom, and emotional wear in ways the shorter seasons that would come next never could. Some episodes barely move the plot forward, and that's exactly the point. Season 8 uses its length to show what war really does when nothing is happening. B.J. Honeycutt's iconic mustache was Mike Farrell's own idea.
The harshest reality of all. Let me give you another harsh reality, Doctor. Markham is my patient. You stay the hell away from him.
BJ's iconic mustache became one of the most recognizable traits of Season 8, but it almost didn't happen. Mike Farrell suggested it himself to show how the war affected his character's grooming and daily life, reflecting the passage of time and stress. But producers initially resisted, worrying audiences would see BJ as a villain or a sloppy doctor. The decision to keep it became a defining look, subtly signaling how even small character choices can speak volumes about personal change. The season where Klinger stops cross-dressing regularly.
Sir, how dare you wear that hat while in uniform? It's spring, sir.
Season 8 marks a quiet but important turning point for Klinger. For years, his cross-dressing had been his defining trait, a desperate, often hilarious attempt to secure a Section 8 discharge. But after Radar leaves, everything changes. Klinger is forced to step up, and the dresses slowly fade into the background. They don't disappear completely, but they become rare and situational, no longer the core of his identity. Jamie Farr and the writers later confirmed this shift was intentional. Klinger was being matured and transformed from comic relief into a responsible, capable soldier. The MASH episode that played out in real time. Season 8 delivered one of the most daring experiments in MASH history with the episode Lifetime. The entire story unfolds in real time. 25 minutes on the clock for the doctors to save a soldier's life, and the viewer experiences every second right alongside them. A countdown timer appears on screen, an incredibly bold choice for a sitcom in 1979, and something almost no other show had done before at the time. The idea came from Dr. Walter Dischel, the medical consultant who co-wrote the episode with Alan Alda. He wanted the audience to feel the pressure of real surgical triage, where one wrong decision or one lost minute could mean the difference between life and death. The disappearance of Radar's teddy bear. There's a small but powerful moment that many fans miss on the first viewing. After Radar leaves in Season 8, his beloved teddy bear, one of the most iconic props of the entire series, vanishes from the show. For years it's simply gone, just like Radar himself. Then, in Goodbye Farewell and Amen, the bear suddenly returns. Klinger finds it tucked away among Radar's old belongings, a quiet moment loaded with meaning. The writers brought it back intentionally, using the teddy bear as a symbol of the innocence the war had slowly stripped away. The episode Dreams was an idea Alan Alda had wanted to do for years.
Now then, Dr. Pierce.
Dreams was a deeply personal concept Alan Alda had been developing in his mind for years before it ever appeared on screen. Long before season 8, Alda had openly talked about wanting MASH to go beyond jokes, operating room tension, and traditional war stories, and instead show what constant trauma was doing to the characters on a psychological level. He believed the real damage of war didn't always happen while awake, but in the quiet moments when exhaustion took over and the mind could no longer protect itself. When season 8 arrived, Alda finally had the influence and creative trust to push the idea forward. Rather than a standard plot, Dreams was structured around fragmented nightmares experienced during a relentless flood of wounded, with each character's fears reflecting their hidden guilt, anxiety, and emotional scars. The Hot Lips nickname for Margaret retired.
Where we've treated you, what are you talking about?
Margaret finally sheds her infamous nickname, Hot Lips, in season 8, marking a symbolic turning point in her character arc. Gone are the days when she was merely the subject of teasing or comic relief. She is now addressed as Margaret or Major, reflecting her professional growth and personal maturity. This small yet significant change highlights the writer's dedication to realistic character development. It underscores the evolution of relationships within the camp and subtly reshapes audience perception, showing that Margaret is now a respected leader and not just the target of jokes. The network initially denied Radar's farewell episodes. Radar's departure was originally planned to be a quiet goodbye, just like that of Frank Burns. So when Gary Burghoff asked to film a proper farewell for Radar, the network initially rejected the idea, worried about scheduling conflicts and the challenge of integrating his farewell into an already tight production plan. However, after reconsideration, they approved it, recognizing the importance of giving one of the show's most beloved characters a meaningful send-off. This decision allowed the writers, directors, and cast to carefully plan Radar's departure. Comedy was intentionally reduced to reflect war fatigue. In season 8, the show deliberately pulled back on its usual humor. TV Guide writer interviews from 1979 revealed that the producers wanted the series to reflect the real emotional toll of war, rather than just relying on jokes or slapstick. This shift in tone allowed the audience to see the exhaustion, stress, and strain the characters experienced during long periods of danger and uncertainty. By reducing the comedy, the writers could focus on deeper character moments, friendships, personal struggles, and moral dilemmas, making the series feel more human and emotionally resonant. Season 8 was a rating success. Despite the major cast changes, darker tone, and emphasis on personal stories over purely comedic or medical plots, Season 8 proved to be a ratings juggernaut, finishing as the #5 show in America that year. This success underscored the audience's willingness to embrace a more mature, emotionally complex version of MASH. The rating success wasn't just a number, it was proof that the series could evolve while maintaining the core essence that made it beloved. The Season 1 Awards. The episode Dreams was one of the boldest experiments in MASH history, nearly plotless and surreal. While some viewers found it unsettling, the episode was praised for showing the psychological toll of combat and the depth of the main characters. And the risk paid off because Dreams won Alan Alda a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Directing for a Comedy Series, and helped cement Season 8 as a period where MASH successfully pushed the boundaries of storytelling, blending emotional realism with dark humor. Which fact surprised you the most? Comment below and don't forget to leave a like.